Hey guys, it is time for another book haul. Today I've got books from Amazon, Thriftbooks, and Book Outlet that all correlate with our history for next year. We're using Biblioplan's Ancient Times, and so all of these books are going to be able to be utilized with that, and they'll be used for either read-alouds, assigned readers, or books that I will just read along with my little ones, like picture books and things like that throughout the year that kind of tie into what we're reading in history. So with all that being said, let's get started. First up, let's start with our Amazon books. I have just a few from Amazon. I love to take advantage of their book deals, especially around Prime Day. I got the Time Cat. This is one that is called for middle school and high school readers, and I'm really excited about it. It is about a cat that travels back in time and to different historical events. I have a son who is obsessed with cats and loves anything to do with cats, so this will be a great find for him. Next up, I have another book, The Wanderings of Odysseus. This is, I believe, the sequel to one of the books I got in my last book haul that my older ones will be reading. And then again, another book that went along with one from my previous book haul, The Children's Homer. This one just looks really cool. I definitely like to get ones. This is the one I got last time, was the Golden Fleece. I like to get covers that are really appealing to kids because the way we do our books is we lay them out on a shelf based on their age group, and then they can go and select and read from that book for either 20 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, depending on their age. Another one that will go on that shelf is these Imagination Station books. I have the first 6 books in the series that I got years ago, but this is books 7, 8, and 9. So we have the Imagination Station Secret of the Prince's Tomb, The Battle for Cannibal Island, and Escape to the Hiding Place. So not all of these go with our historical time period, but some of them do. They're really great beginner picture books, and this will be great for my daughter, and she loves it that there are still a few little pictures in here, and the chapters are fairly short and easy to consume, but it ties in a little bit of historical fiction. Next up is our thrift book haul. This is a fun picture book, Julius and Little Nero. Julius has been exploring Rome with his family, and then he finds this little stray cat, and they kind of go on a daydreaming adventure, meeting and seeing many of the different iconic places in Rome. This is going to be a great one for my first and second grader next year as we explore Rome together. This one is for my middle schooler. This is Roman Diary, The Journey of Ileana. This one is about a girl who is sold into slavery and ends up in Rome, and it's all about her adventures and experience throughout that process. This will be a really fun one. I have my 6th grader read this one, and we'll either read it aloud together or she will read it on her own. She has some special needs, so we kind of adapt how we do her different reading books, but it's definitely one that I know she'll enjoy. This next book is from Moody Publishing, and it is about a little boy who's worried that his stepfather might sell his blind sister into slavery as well, so he decides to rescue her, and together they flee into the mountains, and so it's all about their adventures and that story. God's Own Stallion. This is one of our mythology books for ancient times, for my middle schoolers, and I think this is one definitely by the cover that is going to be very attractive on its own, and then the fact that it includes stories about horses is even better. Another fun picture book that we got is Diogenes. This one is following a story of a dog looking for good people as he seeks freedom in the world. What is interesting is as you go through these adventures with this dog, you actually discover at the end of the book, no, I'm not giving any spoilers, but at the end of the book that it is actually a story loosely based off of a real man. Obviously, he's not a dog, but there are many correlations and tie-ins throughout the book that kind of illustrate his story, and then you can read about his story in the back of the book. So this will be another fun one to go through with my first and second graders. Next up is The Secret of the Sphinx. Talk about a cover that is very attractive for middle schoolers. This one is fiction, but will be a really fun one to tie into learning about ancient history. It's about ancient Egypt and the king's magician that is captured into and encapsulated into a stone sphinx, and about this boy that comes along and how they go on a journey to figure out how to free him from being in the Sphinx. It definitely includes magic from the back, from what it looks like. So if that is something you prefer to stay away from, definitely keep that in mind. But this one looks like a good one for my middle schoolers and high schoolers to go through as we're able to have those discussions and they understand the difference between fiction and reality. Next up is Paolo, the Emperor of Rome. I have to read the inside description real fast. It says it's a story of a very small dog, a very big city. It's a story of bold escapes, of heroic rescues, and of some fearsome cats. This is a story of Rome. This is a story of freedom. And this is a story of Paolo. So this definitely looks like another fun one to add in. We love picture books. Even my older middle school and even some of my high school kids enjoy listening to a picture book from time to time. So this will be another great addition. This one is called Lou and the Bird, and it is the story about Chinese calligraphy. So you can see all throughout the picture that you can see different examples of calligraphy in here. And you can see that they have bolded words in here for helping you learn different vocabulary. So for instance, it's crossroads, and then it has different pictures illustrating what crossroads might look like. Or for here, a woman, or a field, or rice. So you can kind of see examples of how you might represent those with pictures all throughout the book. So I think this will be a really fun one. And of course, then we can have the kids afterwards make their own pictures and images for different words that we use around our home. So I think that will be a really fun one. Here's pictures that represent love. And in the back, they have additional activity ideas, multiple activity ideas actually, that you can utilize with your kids to kind of build out learning. As we go into our book outlet haul, I do want to remind you that I do have coupon codes for Book Outlet and for Thriftbooks down in the description. You guys can find that link. And with this, my son, as we were looking into a lot of the Greek mythology, ancient history, that kind of thing, he was like, Mom, I also would love to get some books on like Norse mythology and stuff like that. So we have gotten several of those books. You'll notice here in this box, this one is not mythology, but rather the true story of who was Leif Erikson. This is a nice hardback book. Book Outlet is all brand new books that discounted prices. And so we got this book at, they guarantee to be at least 50% off of retail price. But oftentimes they run sales, which make them even better deal. We were able to get this nice hardback copy for very, very cheap. This one is a Viking favorite, Viking Invasion. I was there. It stepped back into the fight for York. And so this is just a really easy chapter book with a few pictures and illustrations inside for my 5th grader. And when I keep saying my 5th grader, I mean my 6th grader, but I can't keep track of what grade she's in. Hashtag homeschool problems, right? This is another Who Was book. This is Where is the Sahara Desert? So I love this series. They have them for famous people, favorite places, or famous different scenarios in history like battles or whatnot. Oh my goodness, this book is beautiful. I did not expect this one to be hardback either. And look at how gorgeous that cover is. This is Norse mythology, the God, Goddesses, and Heroes handbook. This one will be one that my son will definitely be grabbing because he is all about not only this kind of thing, he's the one that asked for these types of books, but he also loves artwork as he is an artist. So look at all of these pictures. These are fantastic. So he is really going to love jumping into this one. I really think we're going to love, this is The Genius of the Ancient Egyptians, and it is innovations from this time period. So you of course have got the pyramids in here. You've got learning just how the Egyptians did things that were far above their time. You've got different awesome things like the temples that they made and how they would have all the mazes in there, papyrus, and talking about paper and the invention of paper. We've got their irrigation systems and more. So each kind of 2-page spread is kind of dedicated to a different innovation from the Egyptian time period. We also grabbed the Magic Treehouse graphic novels. One of you guys, as my viewers, had recommended that if my daughter enjoyed the Magic Treehouse books, that I should check out their graphic novel series, and I had no idea that they had a graphic novel series. If you have kids with dyslexia or struggles in reading and kind of looking for more motivation, I highly recommend checking out graphic novels. And so I went ahead and grabbed this one. This is Mummies in the Morning, and so we will be incorporating this one into our history as well. And then not related to our history, believe it or not, but for my high schoolers, for one of the courses they're going to be taking next year, I grabbed the C.S. Lewis Out of the Silent Planet. This is one of C.S. Lewis's fiction pieces. You might be familiar, obviously, with the Chronicles of Narnia series, but this is actually a different series and that takes place in space. So there's 3 books in this series. This is the first one. And so I grabbed it for my boys to read. They're going to be going through Mindy from Redefining Schools new high school program where they're going to be studying C.S. Lewis all year long. So I'm really, really excited about that. They're going to be starting out with the Screw Tape Letters here in the fall and having book discussions and classes around that. And then they will be doing one on fiction sources in the spring of next year. So I grabbed this for that book selection, and I'm just really excited to dive into all of that. If you want to learn more about Redefining School and what they have to offer for literature classes for middle school and for high school, be sure to check out this video here.